film is rushed to the laboratories immediately for processing. Skilled technicians waste no more time than the pilot did over the target to place this graphic data in the hands of S2. Meanwhile, the pilot heads for intelligence to be interrogated. Future tactics and strategy depend greatly upon the information and photographs that Recon men bring back. These first-hand reports are correlated and compared with information already available, and the photographs are carefully studied. The net results of good reconnaissance pictures clearly spot enemy movement, new targets, and judge the effectiveness of recent strikes. Armed with these photographs and a clear report based on the visual observations of the Recon pilots, tomorrow's missions, next week's missions, and next month's missions may be planned. The final result of reconnaissance is always the payoff. Over a period of months, the 5th and 13th Air Forces hit Rabaul again and again. Shipping was cut from 250,000 tons a year to less than 25% of that amount as of June 1944. The once vital harbor was severely damaged and tons of supplies and equipment destroyed. Airstrips and enemy planes were constantly rendered unserviceable. Reconnaissance paved the way for the bombers that went in and flattened Rabaul.
I'm a bomber pilot. When I was in training, a string of successful missions painted on the side of a fortress seemed 1,000,000 miles away. But overseas, we kept the ground crew busy with that paintbrush, and mission after mission piled up. Now I'm back at the 3rd Air Force to tell you how we did it, because it's the training and preparation you receive here that gets you over the target and brings you back. I learned the first day I met my crew what was expected of me and what I expected of them. If a pilot lets down, his crew lets down with him. And over enemy territory, a bomber and a crew belong up, not down. My crew knew that. Bob, the co-pilot, Bert, Dave, Chuck Collins, Frank, Mickey, Ferguson, Happy, and Joe. Just as in training, it all starts with how hard and how intelligently you listen at briefings. I knew that the information reconnaissance gave to intelligence and which was passed on to us at briefings ensured complete accuracy. My crew and I were determined to put every bomb where it would count most. My assignment now is to keep impressing combat teamwork upon you every day as long as you're here. Every bomber is just part of a team. Every squadron and every group are only part of the biggest team of all, the AAF. first combat mission, you, your crew, and your plane are suddenly propelled into being an integral part of the Air Forces. Better get this straight and keep it straight as long as you're in action. No matter where you are in the air, formation is what counts. Formation means protection, firepower, and a round trip. You leave your base in formation, you gain altitude and fly to the rendezvous with the fighters in formation. You go over the target in formation, and you return in formation. Once over enemy territory, you're going to have the book thrown at you. Before you complete your first mission, you'll be thoroughly aware that it takes a perfectly trained crew to make a bomber really function. Approaching the target, all the sweating you did on the ground back in the 3rd begins to have meaning. You're forced to remember everything you learned, every second of every mission you fly. Hours of combat training, the discipline, the groundwork, the knowing and understanding the other fellow's job. Those are the elements that go into making a successful bomber crew.
Pilot to Bombardier, she's yours. Bomb bay doors open.
And this is the moment towards which everything is directed. To place your Bombardier over the target.
Bombs away.
On this day, 550 forts and libs, escorted by 675 P-51s, 47s, 38s, and RAF Mustangs, smashed a ball bearing plant at Erkner, 15 miles southwest of the German capital. 1,100 tons of bombs were dropped on the target. A few weeks later, as part of the round-the-clock bombings, the heart of Berlin was hit. 1,475 tons of bombs were released through a heavy overcast. The anti-aircraft fire was intense, but this strike was unusual. There was no fighter opposition.